Harris. Let's have a good debate.
Nice to see you. Have fun.
Thank you.
Welcome to you both. It's wonderful to have you. It's an honor to have you.
The air crackled with anticipation as Donald Trump and Kamala Harris took the stage for their first presidential debate. Trump, the incumbent, carried an air of confidence bordering on arrogance. Harris, the challenger, exuded a quiet strength, her gaze steady and focused. This was not just a battle of words, it was a clash of personalities, of ideologies, of the future of America. The animosity between the two candidates was palpable, their exchanges often punctuated by sharp retorts and icy stares. Harris, armed with a sharp wit and a keen understanding of Trump's weaknesses, went on the offensive. Her strategy was clear: to expose Trump's vulnerabilities, to rattle his cage, and to force him into making mistakes.
My plan is to give a $50,000 tax deduction to startup small businesses, knowing they are part of the backbone of America's economy. My opponent, on the other hand, his plan is to do what he has done before, which is to provide a tax cut for billionaires and big corporations, which will result in $5 trillion to America's deficit. My opponent has a plan that I call the Trump's sales tax, which would be a 20% tax on everyday goods that you rely on to get through the month.
We have millions of people pouring into our country from prisons and jails, from mental institutions and insane asylums, and they're coming in and they're taking jobs that are occupied right now by African Americans and Hispanics, and also unions. Unions are going to be affected very soon. And you see what's happening. You see what's happening with towns throughout the United States. You look at Springfield, Ohio. You look at Aurora in Colorado. They are taking over the towns. They're taking over buildings. They're going in violently. These are the people that she and Biden led into our country, and they're destroying our country. They're dangerous. They're at the highest level of criminality, and we have to get them out. We have to get them out fast. I created one of the greatest economies in the history of our country. I'll do
Harris
it again
came prepared
and
to
even
dismantle
better.
Trump's carefully constructed persona. She challenged his record, questioned his motives, and refused to let him control the narrative. Her attacks were precise, often targeting his most sensitive areas: his handling of the economy, his response to the pandemic, his rhetoric on race relations. She shared stories of ordinary Americans struggling under Trump's leadership, putting a human face on the policy debates. Harris also masterfully employed humor to undermine Trump's authority. Her well-timed quips and sarcastic asides elicited laughter from the audience, further eroding Trump's image as a formidable opponent. The more Harris pushed, the more Trump seemed to unravel. Trump, accustomed to dictating the terms of engagement, found himself on the defensive from the outset. Harris's attacks caught him off guard, forcing him to deviate from his prepared remarks and resort to familiar but increasingly ineffective tactics. He interrupted, he deflected, he resorted to personal insults, but nothing seemed to slow Harris's momentum. As the debate wore on, Trump's frustration became palpable. His voice grew louder, his tone more agitated. His interruptions, far from silencing Harris, only served to highlight his own insecurity. The debate revealed a Trump who seemed increasingly out of his depth.
Donald Trump is weak and wrong on national security and foreign policy. It is well known that he admires dictators, wants to be a dictator on day one, according to himself. It is well known that he said of Putin that he can do whatever the hell he wants and go into Ukraine. It is well known that he said when Russia went into Ukraine, it was brilliant. It is well known he exchanged love letters with Kim Jong-un, and it is absolutely well known that these dictators and autocrats are rooting for you to be president again because they're so clear they can manipulate you with flattery and favors. And that is why so many military leaders who you have worked with have told me you are a disgrace. That is why we understand that we have to have a president who is not consistently weak and wrong on
Vice
national
President
security,
Harris.
including the importance of upholding and respecting in highest regard our military.
Vice President Harris, thank you.
They're the ones, and she's the one that caused it, that's weak on national security by allowing every nation last month for the year, 168 different countries sending people into our country. Their crime rates are way down. Putin endorsed her last week, said, I hope she wins. And I think he meant it. because what he's gotten away with is absolutely incredible. It wouldn't have happened with me. The leaders of other countries think that they're weak and incompetent, and they are. They're grossly incompetent. And I just ask one question. Why does Biden go in and kill the Keystone Pipeline and approve the single biggest deal that Russia's ever made, Nord Stream 2, the biggest pipeline anywhere in the world going to Germany and all over Europe? Because they're weak and they're ineffective. And Biden, by the way,
President
gets paid
Trump.
a lot of money.
Section 4. Policy under fire, from rallies to Afghanistan, a battle of visions. Beyond the personal attacks and heated exchanges, the debate did touch upon substantive policy issues, albeit often in a fragmented and contentious manner. Harris and Trump sparred over the economy, healthcare, climate change, and foreign policy, offering starkly different visions for the future of the country. Harris focused on issues such as income inequality, racial justice, and affordable healthcare, arguing that Trump's policies had exacerbated these problems. She criticized his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic, highlighting the soaring death toll and economic devastation. Trump touted his record on the economy, pointing to the pre-pandemic stock market highs and low unemployment rates. He defended his handling of the pandemic, downplaying its severity and claiming credit for the development of vaccines. The most heated exchanges centered on Trump's handling of the Afghanistan withdrawal, which Harris called chaotic and humiliating. Section 5. The moderators navigating a minefield of interruptions and bias. The debate moderators faced an unenviable task, maintaining order in a chaotic and often unruly environment. They struggled to enforce time limits, were frequently ignored or spoken over, and faced criticism from both sides for their perceived biases. Section 6. A study in contrast body language speaks volumes. Beyond the spoken words, the candidates' body language provided a fascinating subtext to the debate. Harris, for the most part, maintained a calm and composed demeanor. Her gestures were measured, her eye contact direct, and her smile, when it appeared, was genuine and disarming. Trump, in contrast, appeared increasingly agitated as the debate progressed. He fidgeted, he scowled, he pointed his finger accusingly. The contrast between the two candidates' body language was striking. Section 7. The verdict and the aftermath. A debate for the history books? The first Trump-Harris debate was a watershed moment in the 2024 presidential race. It was a chaotic, contentious, and often cringeworthy affair, but it was also undeniably compelling viewing. Millions tuned in to witness the clash of two titans, two starkly different visions for America. In the immediate aftermath, both sides claimed victory. Trump's supporters praised his fiery rhetoric and his attacks on Harris's record. Harris's backers lauded her composure, her sharp wit, and her command of the issues. The debate's long-term impact on the race remained to be seen.